Hey everyone, it's late November. I haven't been uploading in a while, and this video is we'll tell you why. So I meant to come up to Silicon Valley. Doesn't really look like it because it's not an iconic area. I'm not in Riverside. I meant to come up here for like a month, helping out with my nephew. It's been 4 months, but it's been a really good 4 months, and then a little bad 4 months. And the bad 4 months is we had a bad COVID outbreak in the house. Everyone got it. We're better, but this was a rough one. I've been vaccinated and boosted, and it still beat me up pretty bad. I'll kind of tell you about it. Day one was, so my sister-in-law had it first, I'll tell you, and she was quarantined, and we figured, well, the odds are we're gonna go up real fast. But it was fine for days. And we think, we probably evaded this thing. And then I'm in my nephew's bedroom because I'm helping out with my nephew. He's 15, he's a non-verbal autistic, real good kid, but you know, there's challenges. And I notice he's freaking out. And I'm playing this Chrono Trigger for him, which is, it's pretty cool that my nephew plays games that I grew up playing from 30 years ago. So I know how to do these games. As were a lot of the new games, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I see he's got these glazed eyes and he's freaking out pretty bad. Then he tests positive. Then I figured, well, I've been in here for an hour with the kid, I'm next. And then the next morning, I wake up, I'm feeling sicker than hell. Corey feels okay. Corey goes to work. Corey comes home a couple hours later, or late in the afternoon. Corey's got COVID. So we all had it. Now, my symptoms were like almost like a flu, but like it wasn't a bad cold because it wasn't super stuffed up, but it was a sore throat. It was really bad muscle aches and headaches and cramps, and like it was just difficult to take a deep breath. And I remember getting really bad chills, but I just remember for that day I figured, well, we're just sleeping. Like there's not going to be much activity that goes on. We're just gonna sleep. And I mostly slept that day away. Then the next day, I remember not feeling like the muscle cramps and headaches. That was the worst than the chills. It was just, it was a bit of chills because I was running a fever. But then it gradually got better. But the first week was like, I'm sick and this is rough. So day one was really like the day where I was like worried. Like I said, if this is gonna be really bad, it's gonna be bad on day one. Because it's just, you get that feeling where you know like today's gonna be a bad day, a really bad day. But next day, felt less sick. And then that whole week, like I felt completely drained. And we were still testing positive. I felt like I had zero energy. And we weren't leaving the house. We were all isolating. But I felt like I had like nothing. If you said just run 100 feet, I couldn't do it. Like it was like deep breaths didn't feel like deep breaths. Like every breath felt very shallow. And like even if I tried to take a deep breath, it just wasn't doing much. And then when I finally tested negative, definitely felt better. I do have a little bit of the brain fog, which to me is just coming off as ADD, and I probably already had ADD, so it's just a little more, and then forgetfulness. But other than that, my ability to concentrate is fine. Ability to make art is fine. I've been making really cool art up here. Got a watercolor kit and markers. I'll kind of show some of them on the screen. The one, and I have to make sure I like stake my claim in this. I did this, I first started doing this in 2018. In fact, I think I actually did an experiment in 2015, but I threw it away. But 2018, I even put it on YouTube to kind of like, you know, put a timestamp on it. It's an experimental type of watercolor painting where I paint in negative, or I paint inverted. And I call it the void because it feels like you're in this void world. And so white paper becomes black. And if you put a dark color on the on the paper, it becomes a very light color. So it's painting in reverse. You're not painting to absorb color, you're painting to project. It's very counterintuitive, but there's this logic to it. And what I like about it is that you can create these effects that you can't do any other way. It's so neat. And I have a friend, Yulia, who enjoys being a model for painting, so she gets the honor of being the most void painted woman in the world. But they're really cool. And I did a couple up here. I'll flash them on the screen. I think the one I'm going to show you is not completely finished. I want to touch it up a bit, but it's really cool. And I've never seen anyone do this with watercolor. But if you look at my older videos, I did one, I think, this was May, and I actually showcase a couple of, with model Yulia. But it's pretty cool. So I've been up here helping with the nephew, recovering from COVID. And it's kind of weird because one of the goals was we said like, oh, well, it'd just be the summer. And then, oh, Corey had to travel. So it's like, okay, well, I'll be here for then. And then we all get COVID and it's like, well, okay, we'll be here for a few more weeks. And then, so, well, you know, Thanksgiving is just 2 weeks away. Because we had COVID during Halloween. And it's like, well, might as well stay for Halloween. Might as well stay for Thanksgiving. And so we did that. So I'm keeping up my creative mandate, producing a lot of art, helping take care of my nephew, running the business. And oh, another cool project I want to tell you about. I've been carrying a digital camera with me for over 20 years. I got my first digital camera for Christmas, the year 2000, and it was like a staple in my pocket since then. And then when phones came around, it was like awesome. But I had a digital camera in my pocket since around late 2000. I started a new project on Instagram called 2 Decades Ago. Give it a follow. And all I do is I upload a photo exactly 20 years after I took it with just the date. And I'm kind of like doing like nostalgia in real time. So like you can see like, oh, this is October 30th, 2002. And it's kind of like, wow, it's kind of neat because I've been taking pictures that long. Well, check it out, 2 Decades Ago. This is a quickie, not a whole lot going on for a good video. I filmed videos and I had stuff on my face and just wasn't the right recording atmosphere. I'll be working on what's called season 3. First I was calling series 3. First I was calling this like season 1, season 2. Now I'm calling them like series 1, series 2. I'm gonna do series 3, which is gonna be all about my grandfather's art. I'm gonna break each painting down that I sell one by one. So 100 videos. So this will be, you know, multi-year long project. But keep a lookout for that. I'll probably upload the first ones at the beginning of the year or later this month. I don't know. I'm gonna film like 5 or 6 at a time and then stagger the releases. Follow me on Instagram at Riley O'Neill. Give a subscribe. Check business out, DonO'Neill.com. If you really like cool California watercolor, check us out, DonO'Neill.com. And probably next month, but I'll see you next time.